Dear friends, we bring greetings from Manipur after visiting the right places and all the insurgency occurred areas. With much burdens and agony, I am exploring some of the experiences that we had over there. As you know that Advocate Jatin Pallivadikal and Advocate Joni Jos Kallan were with us, and we three of us visited on 12th itself at Manipur. And Reverend Somi Tangoi, a Naga presbyter, and Reverend Dr. Simon Romion, the president of All Manipur Christian Organization, and their teams were awaiting for us. And after the discussion and knowing that we are there with the burden of helping the poor as well as the affected people, and also wanted to mitigate between these two communities, they have taken us to various parts of Manipur throughout our days over there. Especially, it would not have happened, the journey should not have happened until Reverend Somi Tangoi had the brave to take us. Because in various places we had a lot of hindrances and obstacles to face, and even it was not permitted to go to certain areas. However, we were able to move because Reverend Somi Tangoi belongs to a Naga community, and the Tangoi community are the prominent over there, and they can reach anywhere because they are very peaceful and lovable people. So we visited the areas where the camps were held after the riot. So when we visited people and inquired all about the riot, the cause of the riot and the insurgencies, and they have different versions, and we have to drive out the truth out of all this. We talked to Methi leaders, Methi Christian leaders, and Methi, these Kuki leaders and Naga leaders, and we wanted to share some of the things that we have come to a conclusion. The first thing that all of them agreed in one accord, stating that it is occurred, this problem occurred on 3rd of May because of the direction of Honorable High Court Chief Justice. What was that? He directed to the government of Manipur to include Methi community as the tribal status quo, which is an illegal and unconstitutional, and also it is an unethical, because we were told in various places that this is mere a clash between two tribals. That itself is a lie. According to their version, they say Kukis are the tribals, whereas Methis are the dignified Vaishnavites. Even the Vaishnava communities, they say that we never been in a tribal status. Then why do you want to bring all of a sudden this tribal status? And they drag out stating that it is because of the geographical as well as the land issues and all. That is all a humbug they themselves says. Why? Because there are plenty of land there in Manipur. Often we were told that the Methis are staying in Imphal itself. No, they are spread all across the other district wherever there is a plain land. We have come across all those areas. We have seen many these Methi villages, and we inquired whether they are content with what they have, and they are said they have enough and plenty of lands over there. But whereas the Kukis and the Nagas, they are in the hill areas. Often we were told that 90% hill areas belongs to these Nagas and Kukis. Then why do the government wanted to grab the land is the question from both groups. The government wanted to grab the hill areas in order to occupy some of the hills for the poppy cultivation. That is the allegations that comes from the common people, even from the Methi communities. So we will look into that matter. Before that, we will talk on this caste system, tribal inclusion. So why do this Chief Justice of Manipur have given the direction to the state government to include these tribals to the Methis to this tribal status quo? That is a pre-organized agenda against the tribals. That's what they are saying. What is that? we'll look into this depth of the problems. It has been seen in 2003, a group of companies, petroleum companies, arrived out there, and they made some conclusion that there are a lot of sources of petroleum there in the hill areas. So in 2003 onwards, the petroleum companies, with the support of the politicians, are playing a major role to evacuate the tribals from the hill areas. It is an illegal if they chase them off. Therefore, they were finding a apt time, they were looking for a relevant time to evacuate and eradicate the community from that. That's what the tribal says. When we look into the history of Manipur, there were a lot of local rulers and the tribal communities fightings. In fact, long before, maybe centuries back it was there, but afterwards, last 2-3 decades, they were so much jointly living in a particular village. If the Metis are living, the adjacent village, the Kukis were living, the Nagas were living along with them. So that was the pattern, the coexistence with a joyful and harmonious way out there. As we are taking the oath in the schools, from our childhood onwards, India is my country and all Indians are my brothers and sisters. So all of a sudden, why these brothers and sisters began to fight each other is the question arose from our mind, and when we inquired, they said it is an economical reasons. What is that economical reasons? The state government very well knew that, especially the head of the government, he knew very well that there is a wealth in the hill areas. So he wanted to encroach the lands over there, the hills over there, and dig out the wealth out of it. That was the intention. For that, what are the things that he did is the answers from the Kukis. They say infiltration is taking place with the consent of the Honorable Chief Minister. That's what they're saying. So when the infiltration take place, these people are meant for the poppy cultivation in the hill areas. If the Kukis and Nagas are living in the hill areas, it cannot be cultivated. Therefore, they wanted to create some problems. And in the name of poppy cultivation, he diverted the attention of the common people from the real trade of opium in the valleys. That's what people claims. They say that CM is involved in the opium and intoxication trade. It is their statement, not mine. They are very specifically, with all the evidences and proof, they are saying it. And they cannot approach the court even, because the court give a wrong direction to the honorable states. What is that? To include the Methi community into the tribal groups. So how it matches, how it justifies, how the justice will be prevailed there? That is the question that arose from the minds of the common people there in entire Manipur. And the second reason, they say there is a diamond sources in the hill areas, and that wanted to be possessed by these people, some of the valley people. And the trade people, they always have that desire, no? Even if they are become a politicians, their intention is nothing but the trade itself. So that is going on there. So the infiltration with the consent of the CM and the grabbing of the land, evacuation of the people, eradication and total ethnic cleansing are the programs that they have planned. And that was the program they organized with all the consent of the prominent leaders of our nations. Then that they wanted to implement very plainly and very strategically. That knowing all these facts, the tribals, they understood the dangerous, and it was triggered all of them to come together. All are those people, the Kukis and Nagas, they called for a peace rally on 3rd of May, and it went on in all the district of Manipur. There were only 9 districts before, but now for the betterment of the community they have bifurcated as a 16. And what happened, these people, they had the peace rally and went back to their respective houses and places and villages. They live in a villages, no? So they went back. But in Vishnupur, where the Methi militants like Arambai Tangol and Methi Lipun, both of these groups, they gathered and have a fighting with Kukis over there. So the fighting took place over there, and retaliation took place. Both sides were casualties take place, and a lot of things were burned, and many homes were burned over there. And all of a sudden, that flare has spread in all across Manipur. And why these problems occurred? When we inquired, we found there is a monument in the near to the gate of Kuki, Anglo-Kuki War Gate. And according to their version, according to the Kuki version, which I did not find even the advanced history of India, in which they say that there was a war between the these Kukis, and Kukis were leading the battle, and they won the battle. That's what they're saying. And there is a gate called Anglo-Kuki War Gate. So there they kept some of the monuments of the war, and that was dismantled and destroyed by the Methi, Arambais and Lipun. So the retaliation took place over there. But in other places, of course, they were scattered. These Kukis were scattered in various districts, and Charchambur, of course, Methi, Kukis are the majority groups. They are 96 to 98% of the Kukis are residing there in Chuchambur. That district belongs to them, and only few of them are from outside of Chuchambur. They came for the trade or business or official purpose. And the saddest part, when we look around, though they claim that only 10% of total geography belongs to the Metis in a downhill, that is in the valley areas, Imphal and other places. These 10% of people, 10% of the land is having all the facilities. When we talk about the 10%, I don't think that is only in Imphal they are residing. No, they are spread all across Manipur, wherever the land is plain, that was occupied by these people, and they have the Metis, and they are residing there, and they have got the good government services and all the facilities. When I talk about the imbalanced budget, you will understand it probably by next video. I will give you all the details about it. And what happened, this direction of the court triggered the tribals to fight against these Metis. The reason we could have concluded that it is a clash between Kukis and Metis, but it was not so. It was spread all across Manipur, as I said, and many Methi churches were destroyed. How many, 251 churches were dismantled or burned. And in one place, one lady pastor, she told us that after dismantling the church, they asked her to pay the charge of the JCB, and she had to pay the wages of that man even. So that what happened. Many Methi churches, many Methi institutions, Christian institutions and houses were burned and dismantled. The same time, within 36 hours, hundreds of Kuki villages were totally burned. Thousands of lives were affected. Many hundred children and aged people were killed. And many of them escaped with the half burn. We have seen people with bullet injuries. We have seen people with abortions and a lot of atrocities. And the people who went through the sexual harassment and all, which I cannot explain to you. So this was actually happened over there. And the cause, all of them, unanimously agrees that it was the direction of the High Court. Even we know that our Honorable Supreme Court Chief Justice condemned that direction, stating that the High Court does not have any authority or power to take up this matter in his file even. So was it not a pre-organized and pre-planned issues that occurred over there? And another burden that we have, our Honorable Home Minister landed down there after long days. When he came there, he visited some of the areas and he promised 10 lakhs rupees for the deaf people and their families. We don't know how many of them will be getting, because there is no measurement about what had happened and how the situations are worst. You know that some villages where we visited, the hill areas, we have seen that no one is looking over there. No government officers comes over there, and people are dislocated and people lost many of their lives, and the villages were totally vanished, and looting is going on. Lot of plunders are taking place. So who takes all these responsibilities? If you give you 10 lakhs rupees for the dead people, who will get it? Only in the valley areas you will get it. The hill areas, they won't understand even what is going on there, because there is no internet connections from the third onwards, there is no internet connections. You know how we struggled out there for a week without the internet and mobile ranges in various places. We could not even contact with the people. Solve it. Who started it? They themselves have to confess. They themselves have to admit it is because of our fault, because of our greediness, all these things happened. And they wanted to rule with a dividing attitude, not with the uniting mentality. We need to pray for such people who are dividing our nation into the name of caste and creed and religion. It is a havoc for all of us. We need to stand together. So the High Court should not have verdicted, or he should not have directed the government such as way, and the government should not have moved with that directions. They should have discussed with all the people, all the leaders, all the tribal communities. And what had happened? 251 churches there at the valleys and 6 reputed institutions were totally gone. It is vanished, no more there, and people cannot come back over there. They are afraid. People left their homes, their villages and everything what they had. And many children, they are growing up without their parents. Remember the curiosities that they have in their mind, the trauma that they are carrying is absolutely unexplainable. I will give you sort of videos in my next video where we have shooted some of the cries of the people, some of the burdens of the people. So it is very agony that we are all holding. So we need to interact in this matter. We have to interfere in this matter. The government has to take the same step. The Honorable Prime Minister, even today, even till today, he did not open his mouth on these issues. Being the international Guruji, the Loga Guruji, I humbly request to you that at least please open your mouth to speak out to the people who are suffering out there and comfort them. You did a Man Ki Baat and all, but you did not mention a single word on this matter. That is what people says. So it is the cry of the people that I am pouring out before you. If you can accept this one and you feel that we all are Indians and we are being the brothers or sisters of this nation, you have to act, sir. And I humbly request all people, come together, pray for our nation, stand together to abolish such violence from our nation, and will live a life which is very much acceptable by each other.